Well, as everybody knows, there continues to be a lot of discussion around education in Tennessee, and that's a good thing. There is nothing we are doing that is more important than education in Tennessee. And I want to say something else. There's no doubt also that due to the hard work of educators, students, and parents, we are moving in the right direction in Tennessee. We're here today to talk about this year's state test results. And when you look at where we are now compared to 4 years ago, we are making a lot of progress, and most importantly, we're sustaining that progress. There's no doubt that higher standards are making a difference in Tennessee. As everybody knows, it was a year of transition for teachers in Tennessee. Students have been diligently working and learning our new standards, and it shouldn't be minimized, the transition that we're in the middle of. Through that transition, though, it's also important to note that we're continuing to make progress. Once again, we saw improvement on the majority of our 31 different subject and grade level tests. So if you take all the subject, grade level, add all those tests up, there's 31 different ways to measure that. We also, and I want to emphasize this, we saw a decrease in the achievement gap for minority students in math and reading at both the 3rd through 8th and the high school levels. We've seen particularly strong gains in our high school end of course exams, while scores on our tests in elementary and middle grades remained constant. We've placed a priority in our state, as you know, around preparing high school students for STEM careers, and we're seeing continued improvement in those areas with biology and algebra proficiency rates continuing to rise. In 2011, so just 3 years ago, only 31% of our Algebra 2 students were on grade level. Now, nearly 50% have reached that mark, a 20% jump in 3 years. That is what I would call statistically significant. More than 13,000 additional Tennessee students are on grade level in Algebra 2 than were on grade level in 2011. We struggled last year with flat English scores at the high school level, but this year we also see considerable growth in English 1 and English 2 scores. In English 2, we saw proficiency rates go up nearly 4 points. This high school growth is especially exciting in a year when we as a state announced a series of new initiatives designed to ensure that more Tennesseans earn a certificate or degree beyond high school. Hopefully, by now everyone's heard about our Drive to 55 and the Tennessee Promise and making that a reality. But if we're going to succeed in that, it's not just about having students have access to higher education, and once they're there, making certain they have the courses needed. It's about preparing them for the challenges they'll face in higher education. I want to make 2 last points before I have Kevin come up here. The first is this. In Tennessee, we talk a lot about the work of improving education and all the positive momentum we've had. But I think it can be easy to lose sight of just how hard this work is. We've asked students and teachers and districts to do something incredibly challenging, and we continue to see that they are rising to the challenge. This is very, very hard work, but we can't ever say that it's too hard. In today's competitive world, high standards are just the price of admission. And so while we have to acknowledge that it's hard work, we can't ever say this is too hard for Tennesseans if we're going to compete on the world stage. The second point is about data. Obviously, we're here to release data, talk about test results. There are folks who want to minimize the use of data in education. I strongly feel they are doing a disservice to our students. We use data to see where we can do a better job. You go talk to any of the great businesses in the country or any of the great hospitals or any other strong institutions. They use data not just so they can cheer to say we did great or they can be sad because the results weren't what they want to be. We use data to find out where we can improve. And in Tennessee, we are committed to that concept.
You know, I know the governor noted this, but we really have asked of educators and students a lot. What we've asked of them is very hard work, and in particular, teachers in Tennessee are continuing the work of transitioning to new standards in math and in English, which is very challenging. And one of the challenges that our teachers in schools have grappled with is focusing on higher standards, teaching kids to do more advanced writing, citing evidence from text, showing their work in math, while at the same time we're giving an assessment that's a multiple choice assessment. Despite the challenges though, scores held steady in grades 3-8. We had slight gains in most areas of grades 3-8. And overall, Big increases again in high school, the second year in a row where we've seen particularly strong growth at the high school level.